Zemo brought up a discussion which I think is really interesting. He talked about how the super soldier serum is innately tied to supremacy.
Interesting.
And yeah, he was like, for one to want to be a super soldier, it would have to come from supremacist ideals. That was like one of the direct. I'm like amending one of the quotes that he made.
Totally untrue.
Well, okay, so it's interesting because the thing with Steve Rogers that I find interesting is that he was the first experiment. And so he was taking the super soldier serum not necessarily because he wanted to be powerful, but because he wanted to help people. And he knew that this might be the way to do it. But he didn't know that there was no guarantee that it was going to, be the thing to help him. And then the thing with Isaiah Bradley is that he didn't have a choice. Same with Bucky, like he didn't have a choice either, as far as getting the super soldier serum. Mm-hmm. But then all the people that want the super soldier serum, and we see this in John Walker's decision, it's all so that they could have power above everyone else. And I think that's what Zemo was getting at. Although, and they in response to that statement, I think Bucky was like, "What about Steve?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's exceptions, right?" Mm-hmm. If I'm remembering,
he did say that. Correctly. He said there's exceptions.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that though? The whole discussion about the super soldier serum being tied to supremacy.
I just don't think it's true because like you're making such general statements. Just because someone wants power doesn't necessarily mean they have supremacist ideals. Like for instance, Captain America, Steve Rogers wanted to get more power to help people. It was a chance. Yes, he didn't know it was going to work, but clearly he knew it was going to enhance his strength in some way if it did work. And he wanted that for the reason of like helping his country, protecting.
But I think that's the thing with Steve. Like he didn't even know that for sure. Like they were like, "Hey, it might."
Yeah, but even if it might, he still chose to do it because it might grant him more power.
Right, which I think that's the most important thing. It's like it was an experiment. Like they weren't sure, as opposed to now when they are sure. Like I think that's what changes it a little bit, maybe, especially from Zemo's perspective.
Sure, it makes a slight difference, but like the desire is still the same. They want more power to be able to do something.
Yeah.
So, like that's still Steve Rogers' original desire. Otherwise, why do it, right? Like there has to be a reason for wanting it, and his reason was so that he could get the power to help people. So it's your core desire for why you want the super serum. It's not like because it's guaranteed to work and I want it, now I have supremacist ideals. It just doesn't make sense that way.
Yeah. I see what they're trying to say, or I would think is that, or at least two ways I can take that is one is that sometimes people who want power, they get so hungry that they may start adopting certain supremacy ideals. So that's one way I kind of took that thing that they're saying.
Quick question: what exactly are supremacist ideals? Like you're trying to say that it's just, you're better than everyone. Like you have
you are superior to everybody. Innately, you're better than other people.
Okay.
Okay, going based off that notion, yes, I can see that power as an effect could make someone like that. But going back to what Scott's saying, I think it all goes back to like how you use it. I don't think the wanting or desire of power automatically, just because you want power, you're automatically a supremacist or something like that. That's too much of a oversimplification. But I do see connection between.
Keep going.
Sorry, I do see the connection between the people who do want power and people who have supremacist ideals. There is a connection in that, or that sometimes a byproduct of wanting too much power makes you follow those ideals. But,
right. Okay, so from a writer's perspective, you're writing this show.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of having Sam immediately reject the notion of taking the super serum, and then John Walker immediately wanting to take the super soldier serum. He didn't immediately. He took some time to think. He took a day to think about it. But yeah, what is the purpose in having that dichotomy?
I'm trying to activate like big brain mode right now, but I can kind of see what the super serum, like what kind of tool it is right now. And I think maybe when you have the serum, you do want supremacy over opposition, right? You want to be stronger than the people that are opposed to you and your ideals. Whereas, and that's kind of like what John Walker was like. He wanted to be bigger and stronger than the enemy and like crush them. And Sam, rejected the serum because he wants to, and we see this from the beginning with him trying to talk to Carly, he wants to be level with everyone and everything and kind of take things in a more like empathetic approach. I think he just wants to understand problems throughout before thinking of like crushing the opposition whatsoever. So that's a big difference for me because like I said, when you have the serum in you, you kind of want supremacy over like those who oppose you, which is like Carly and her whole gang were trying to, overpower everyone that was against them.
Yeah, world
I guess
government.
That's where, the world government, and
but
it's
Here's one thing about just Falcon not wanting to take the super serum. So I feel like one of the reasons he didn't want to, he never said it out loud, but I feel like it was mentioned later because people were like, oh, you did it all, you're Captain America without the super serum. I feel like it was for that ending, right? So that he can say, oh, I'm Captain America, I don't have a super serum, and I'm still successful at it. So it sort of makes him more relatable, and also like it means that Steve Rogers wasn't Captain America just because he had the super serum. Those are sort of the messages I'm getting when I see that, okay, Falcon didn't take it, and it was for this sort of like message at the end.
I could get behind that.
But for his character, like what he's thinking about in terms of not taking it, I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of weird. But also at the same time, I feel like everyone who took the super serum kind of died off real easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was almost as if they were normal.
Because
I think
it's because Zemo hates them, and he wins all the time. He wins every time.
I think the serum can be used as a symbol for just like you said, OC, maybe supremacy or just like a misuse of power and all that. I can see it going both ways. Like what Scott said, just making it more of a way for Sam to stand out and have all the important stuff that Captain America needs, which is not the serum. But I can also see like it being kind of like a moral thing too between Sam and everyone else who wanted the serum.
Interesting. Yeah, so definitely let us know in the comments what you guys think about these topics we've discussed here. Okay.
Just to bring it to a more personal level, if you had the opportunity to take the super serum, would you do it? I'd say yes.
Asking us personally?
Right away. Yes.
I would say, see, right now, my current state, just to try it, yes. Like, just to try it.
Okay.
I just want to see how it's like. And,
So I'm going to be like, yes, does that make me a supremacist? Is my question.
I guess, am I supremacist because I said yes? I mean, I guess to some degree, I grew up Nigerian, so some degree I have some supremacy inside my head.
Nigerian supremacy.
I'm already like, oh, man, I want to conquer everything. But I don't know, man. I personally,
because you're basically asking, do you want to get super strength? That's all you're asking, in my opinion. And I'd be like, get the superpower of super strength. Why not? Like, it doesn't change. In my opinion, it doesn't change like your core being. It just gives you
And
super strength.
I also don't think just because you don't help people with superpowers doesn't mean that you automatically want to take over people. Sometimes you just want superpowers for your own selfish benefits. You know what I'm saying? Like you just
Yeah.
want to have my own freedom.
In a situation where you're like the only person offered the serum, like it could be an interesting study of the psyche and all that. But imagine someplace where, I don't know, the super serum could be distributed amongst people. Who do you think is getting it first? You know? Who do you think is going to have access to it first?
I think it's the rich people who want to do whatever they want with it. So
That's a conversation for a different time. But it's just something I thought of. I'm up in the air. I don't know if I'd take it or not. There's just really no reason for me to right now.
For sure.
How about you, OC? Just be honest. There's
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be tempting to take it.
Man, I don't get why you guys wouldn't. It's just like
I
a
know,
free
it
upgrade.
just
It's
seems
just a
to be
free
fun,
upgrade.
man.
No, because
you get powers, you get to generate.
No, I get it. I think it's just like it's really interesting to have that discussion, and it's probably something to consider personally, like on a person. If you were actually faced with that decision, you'd have to personally figure out your own purpose.
That's fair.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and all that stuff. And so I think it would take a long time to figure out, so that, because the thing about John Walker is that he got power when he felt like at his lowest, right? When it was right after he got beat up by the Dora Milaje, and he was like, they weren't even super soldiers, and he was just like, and that was kind of what tipped him over. And so I can see Zemo's philosophy kind of working out in that moment, and I would have to make sure that I am like as far away from that kind of a moment in myself if I were to take the super soldier serum.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And so I think, and once he took it, he kind of like went crazy with power a little bit and killed people in front of people. And so I don't want to.
But unless there's something inherent about the serum itself that makes you feel certain tendencies, like those like angry tendencies or whatever, like that would be the only case where I wouldn't take it. But in my opinion, if it's literally like, oh, I just rubbed a genie in a bottle and then wished for super strength, then I see zero difference between them right now, because I'm not led to believe that there's anything in the super serum that would compromise your ability to think or whatever.
Is that what you'd wish for first, though?
No, not of course not. It's just an example. It's like I'm saying that these are
it's a weird
equal
example.
things. I'm trying to say that these are equal things. Like if all of a sudden you just woke up with super strength, that's the equivalent of taking the super serum, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, I think we'd all be good candidates for the serum, but I don't want any less responsibility I can have, the better. So I don't really want to have to debate with myself and be like, do I want to save the world? Yeah. I don't.
But you're assuming that you have to take on those responsibilities. You don't have to. You could just be a super strength human being.
I think one should try to make the world a better place, and I feel like if you have those
Spider-Man
things, I think if you have those things, it's like you have to be like, oh, what can I do? And then that would just be like taking up all your time.
With great power comes great responsibility. Is that what you're trying to say?
Kind of.
I mean, yeah, it depends. I mean, you don't have to be like a fully slave agent to the government. You could be a free agent. Be like, oh, this is what I do.
That's another thing. People wanting to put their hands on you and make you do things.
I mean, that's a fun discussion. I like that.
Yeah, it's a fun.
I know. We could go so many avenues with this, and I'm looking forward to it if we do down the line.
Definitely. But yeah, put your thoughts and comments down below, and we will interact with you guys down there. Let us know what you guys think.
All right. Later.
Later.